The short answer to the title of the video is probably not in terms of raw performance and especially in ray tracing performance, but I still think AMD has a shot versus NVIDIA's newest lineup of GPUs. Why? To understand that, let's analyze AMD's announcement regarding RDNA3. First, at this moment we get two new GPUs, 7900 XTX, which is the current gen flagship model, and 7900 XT, which is a slightly less powerful alternative. The 7900 XTX has 24GB of GDDR6 and not 6X memory coupled with 384-bit bus. The gaming clock speeds are at 2300 MHz, the max boost is at 2500 MHz for main compute unit and 2300 MHz for shaders for busty workloads. Why the difference in clock speeds? Well, AMD claims that the shaders don't benefit as much from higher clock speeds, and this allows them to make GPUs more power efficient while also boosting the core clock speeds. The 7900 XTX also has 96 compute units, 6144 RDNA3 cores, 96 MB of Infinity Cache, and the GPU draws 355 watts of power. The smaller brother, the 7900 XT, has 84 compute units, 5376 RDNA3 cores, 2 GHz gaming clock, and 20 GB of GDDR6 memory with 320 bits of memory bus. It also has 80 MB of Infinity Cache. The power draw is at 300 watts. The more powerful 7900 XTX costs $999 and 7900 XT $899. A significant difference in price when compared to 4090's MSRP, which is at $1,500. But in fact, the GPUs go well for over $2,000. That is, if you're able to find them. At this moment, the 4090 is mostly sold out everywhere. And this leads us to the first advantage the AMD can get: much better price to performance ratio. Sure, the 7900 XTX is most likely 15, maybe even 30% slower than the 4090, and probably more than that in ray tracing performance. And remember, those are assumptions as we do not have realistic tests yet, but even if we assume worst case scenario where on average the card is 25% slower in rasterization performance than the 4090, the NVIDIA flagship at MSRP is still 50% more expensive than the 7900 XTX. Realistically, due to very low supply and high demand, it's over twice as expensive. This means that if AMD is able to provide good supply and by doing so keep the prices under control, they will appeal to a much broader group of gamers. After all, spending $1,000 versus $2,000 for only 25% difference in performance seems completely reasonable. Second thing is NVIDIA's problem with the new power adapters, which has already caused some concerns among users and potential buyers. It's hard to say how broad the issue is, but AMD will surely not have such problems as they are still sticking to the previous standard of power supplies. AMD's cards are also much smaller than NVIDIA's, meaning you don't need a big case to fit even the current RDNA flagship, and they come equipped with a DisplayPort 2.1, which can support up to 480 Hz when paired with 4K monitor and 165 Hz with 8K monitor. But let's be realistic, I don't think this generation of cards will allow you to play comfortably at 8K, especially not without some aggressive DLSS or FSR. It is, however, nice to see that AMD is trying to make their cards more future-proof. There is one more thing to note: if you're all about ray tracing in games, then your best bet is NVIDIA. Because even with the latest improvements in RDNA3's ray tracing performance, it will most likely lag behind the 4000 series GPUs. So when it comes to raw ray tracing performance, NVIDIA is still a generation ahead. Overall, I think AMD has a chance to snatch a big portion of the market from NVIDIA in the upper mid-tier of GPUs. If they are able to deliver the performance promised during the announcement, keep the supply and prices under control, and deliver stable drivers, I think they're poised for success. We can see that this generation AMD didn't want to pick direct fight with NVIDIA's flagship GPU, but they rather decided to focus on innovation with the chiplet design and better price to performance ratio, while also keeping the power draw under control. And this is great as it gives more options to us, the end users and gamers, so no matter if you're NVIDIA fan or AMD fan, in the end the competition should bring the prices down. And that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Laser, and I'll see you soon.